Hi guys, welcome to my channel. On today's episode we are going to be making burger cake. I'm sure you love burger, don't you? Okay, so let's get right to it where I'll show you the things I'll be using and how I'll be making it. Alright, come with me. So I have two 4-inch cake here. I've cut this into two now. Now we're going to start with this, which is going to be the top of our burger cake. So I'm going to just, shape it to what I want. Alright, so this is that. Then the second layer, I'm going to turn it upside down and just do a little bit the same way. So this trimming is just going to be a little bit, so I'm going to also remove this part. Okay, so I'll turn it upside down and then we'll go down. This one, we're going to use it for the meat patty. So let me just make it irregular, kind of, on both sides. So I'm not following a particular definition. It's because it's going to be like meat, so it's not, okay, we'll compost it. Now that we are done with trimming our cakes, the next thing we're going to do is to crumb coat our cakes with buttercream. So I'm going to cover the top of the burger with buttercream, cover the middle, cover the lower bread with buttercream. So that's what I'm going to be doing for all the cakes now. After I'm done crumb coating with buttercream, the next thing to do is to place each of the cake in the fridge or in the freezer to allow it cool and allow it set before we move on to the next step of our decorating process. The next step of our decorating process is to cover each of our cakes with chocolate ganache. Chocolate ganache is going to make everything set and easy to work with. I mean, we'll be able to cover it properly with our fondant without having any issues. Now, I want you to take note that if you are working with chocolate ganache in a humid environment, you need to take the temperature at which you are working into consideration. Make sure that your temperature is cool so that your chocolate does not start to melt and then you're able to work freely with it. Now we're done with the top layer. Look at how beautiful it looks. So we're going to work with the beef patty. We are going to work on the lower part of the burger. That's our bread. We're going to work on and cover with chocolate ganache. Make sure to put in the freezer or the fridge to set before you move on to the next process so that your work doesn't get ruined. Now that we are done ganaching all the layers, the next thing is to work on our fondant covering. So first you need your fondant, apply the colors. I'm using ivory color here so I can get like a golden kind of color. You know, bread is usually golden yellow kind of. So I get that. So I'm going to use it to cover the burger, the top burger and the lower part. Then I'm going to work on my lettuce. I'm just using green fondant here and also working on my onions. I'm using purple and white, interchanging it together. Then I'm going to cut it into circle and roll it flat. So that's going to be my onions. You can also decide to, just make a mixture of marbling of white and purple and cut it out in circles. That can also serve as your onions. A piece of advice to everyone watching this video: push yourself out of your comfort zone. I mean, nothing happens in your comfort zone. So if you want to make impact, you want to change, you just have to step out of your comfort zone and do something different this year. I'm rooting for you. Now check out my onion rings. Are they not giving? I mean, it looks, beautiful with the marbled white and purple there. Look at that. I hope you're enjoying this video. If you have, don't forget to like and share and subscribe. Now on to making my cheese. I mean, these things does are not so hard. You can just improvise. I'm going to be using yellow fondant to make my cheese, and cheese is a very important part of making your beef burger. So don't forget, anytime you're making this, don't exclude the cheese part. It's a very, very vital part. So I've cut up my yellow fondant into triangles with whatever shape I like, and I'm going to be using that as the cheese on my cake. Yay! So next thing is to cover my cakes now. They're out of the fridge, they're out of the chiller. So I'm going to cover this up. Each layer, I'm going to cover the top bread, and the lower bread is going to be covered in this colored fondant. Then the beef patty is going to have a deeper color of brown, like chocolate brown, because it's beef. So I'm going to cover that. So watch me as I work, and I hope you are enjoying and getting value from this video. Thank you for watching. Another advice is that while working with fondant on a chocolate ganache cake, after you're done covering the cake with fondant, make sure that you place inside the fridge, especially where your environment is humid and hot. So make sure you place inside the fridge so that your chocolate does not start to melt. Or you work in a cool environment, that will really save you a lot of stress and headache. Now that we're done covering our cake, the next thing is just get a piece of foil paper, crumble it together, and use it to imprint on the top of the cake so that it can have a rough texture. Your burger bread is usually not smooth, so that will just give it that texture. Next thing is to paint our bread the color that we want. So I'm using a mixture of gold, ivory, and brown here, and I'm toning it down with water and edible alcohol so that I can get the finishing and the shade of color I want. You might need to work on this several times before you get the exact color. I mean, it has to look like a bread, don't you? So now I'm working on my patty. I've covered it with brown fondant and using just the kebab stick to give it a kind of rough look on it, because we want our beef to look realistic. I mean, it's a hamburger. So the next thing to do now is to assemble our burger. So I'm using chocolate ganache here for the first layer. Then I'm going to put my lettuce, I'm going to put my cheese, I'm going to put my tomatoes. Now tomatoes, just roll out your red and cut out circle, that will serve. So I'm going to assemble everything now. You can see how beautiful it's turning out. It's looking out great already. My onion rings and everything. So I'm just going to place that and just watch and enjoy. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, don't forget to subscribe and put on your notification, because I'll be dropping videos every week, either on cake business or how to bake or everything general about baking and all that. So enjoy and watch. We are done assembling our filling, our tomato, our onion rings, our cheese. We're going to place the top bread on top of our burger. Now you can see our sesame seed is on the cake. We are placing the sesame seed. So you just roll out little bits of fondant and just place on the top of your bread burger, and there you have it. We're done with our burger. The next thing is to eat and enjoy. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.